Hey class, so I've got all of my interior wall partitions located. Some of them are dimensioned. I may have to add a few dimensions in later. For example, this I used a temporary dimension. Again, you can see that it shows up all the way over here. I could simply come in here and place this dimension too to verify that that is correct. The next thing I'm going to do is create the porch. So the porch is essentially a floor. So we are going to go to Architecture, Floor. Now, we were set at wood joist 12-inch wood finish. We want to create a outside deck. Now that is going to be done with an 8-inch wood joist. So we're going to start with this one, and we're going to edit type. But now remember, this exists in the drawing. We do not want to rename and edit this. We want to duplicate. Only this time we're going to call it wood joist 8-inch deck. We're going to hit OK. And as you can see in the instructions, we need to edit the structure, and the finish we're going to change from oak flooring to a softwood. Again, SOF, I'm just going to type in the search box, pull that up, softwood lumber, and its thickness is going to be 1 inch, so 1-inch deck boards. The structure is a wood joist, so we're going to leave that alone, only now we're going to change it to 8.5, sorry, it's a 2x8, so that's 7.25 inches. However, there's no plywood sheathing. It's just a rafter, or sorry, a joist and decking. So this row, we select over here, we press the number 3, and we come down here and we say delete. So now we have a total of 8.25 inch thick decking. We're going to hit OK. We're going to hit OK again. So now we have a new floor type, wood joist 8-inch deck. And we are going to pick our lines, or actually, sorry, we're not going to pick the walls anymore. We're going to draw the outline. So we're going to click the line button. I forgot to check my other constraints. I didn't really forget. I just know that by default this sets it at 0, which is what we want. We want it to be 0 inches off of level 1. We don't want to create any offset, and we're going to use the chain command. And we're going to come in here, we're going to draw right along our exterior wall. And we know it comes out 6 feet. Now, this dimension we don't know off the top of our heads. We know it's 6 feet beyond here. So again, I can simply draw this without paying that much attention. Now I can select this line, gives me a temporary dimension. So I finished that up and I hit escape twice, which gets me out of any draw command. Then I can simply select a boundary, change this temporary dimension to 6 feet, and I know that's correct now. Now I can hit the green check mark button, and there's my porch. I'm going to come in and place the columns in the porch posts. So those are columns, architecture, column. Now if you come in here, actually I believe that, I don't know what I just did, that was a structural column. Let's go here, column architectural. Now you'll see that all we have is these rectangular columns. So I don't want to be that generic and just create a 6x6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and load family, go into my columns folder, and I have wood timber columns. So I'm going to hit open. And that loads all of them because there's not that many, so it doesn't give me a list to choose from. It just loads them all. We want a 6x6 timber column. So there's my type. This is all fine. And my options are all fine too. The default's fine. Now there's one against the wall here. And again, I'm not paying that much attention to their location. I'm just getting them in here. So I'm going to click that there. Now what I'm going to do after I place that one is select it. Using my temporary dimensions, I'm going to drag this dimension there and drag this dimension to there. And my offset from the edge of my porch is 4 inches. And now, again, I'm going to use that handy right click, create similar. And now I can grab an inference, and you can see that that is aligned to this edge and it's aligned to that column. Now I can come out to here, place another. I'm hitting escape, selecting this, again changing this temporary dimension so that I can make this 4 inches off the face. Select this again, right click, create similar. I know that there's another off of this face. Now it's not getting the face I want, but that's fine. We're going to come down here. It's going to inference off of here so that it's aligned there. Hit escape. Again, I'm going to use that align tool, AL, align to there, this face. Now, what I just did there, let me do that again. What I'm doing is I'm selecting this. Here's another way to create or copy something. I'm selecting it. I'm hovering over it till I get the move button. I'm clicking and I'm moving, but I'm going to hit, oops, sorry, I'm thinking I'm in SketchUp. Before I click, I'm going to hold Control and then click and drag. Nope, sorry. Hold Control while you drag. And of course I got it offline. I'll get this one of these days. There we go. By holding Control as you drag, it creates a copy. Now this I want to be 8 feet. Again, I'm using these temporary dimensions and dragging their handles to where I want them to be. That's 8 feet. I'm going to use that Control button again. Now this one, I want to be in the middle of these. So I can use dimensions. Now these will not be dimensioned. I'm going center to center to center. These don't show up in my final deliverable, but what I can do is I can select this. I can use the equal button. It'll place that right in the middle, and then I can delete this dimension, and you'll see this dialog come up. Basically it's saying you deleted the dimension. These will stay constrained so that they're always equal. Or you could say unconstrained, but I'm fine with not having the dimension and leaving them constrained, so I'm going to hit OK. Again, I'm going to come over, hold Control when I drag, pull my temporary dimension over to here, pull it to the face, set that to 4 inches, drag this one up, get it aligned to that corner, drag another one up, align it to the wall, drag one down, and again, dimension, center line, center line, center line, hit the equal, delete it, hit OK. Now, you'll see that this column is attaching itself to the wall, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this column, right click, and I'm going to say, you know what, sorry, I can't do it with the column. I'm going to select the wall, right click, and I'm also not seeing the command. Sorry, give me a second here. I'm going to select this, come up to, you'll notice that my modify toolbar comes up. There's this join command, but if you hit the down arrow, you get unjoin geometry. So I'm going to then click the wall, and it unjoins the geometry from the column from the wall. So again, selecting the column, unjoin, select the wall, and now I have that line. I should also point out I am in thin lines mode. I generally work in thin lines mode, so you probably have many line weights. So your drawing looks like this probably. I turn that off while I'm working. The command is TL, just so that I can see my lines more clearly. But I will, from time to time, turn that back on to make sure that my line weights are showing up correctly. So now we've got our porch columns in place. I'm going to go ahead and work on some more porch details. We're going to place the railings. So this is going to take a little bit of work. The railing is on the Architecture tab, so I'm going to click Railing. Now, handrail rectangular, that's fine. That's going to work. We're going to start with that at least. And the way that handrails work is that you draw a line representing the center line of the handrail. So basically, I'm just going to click from the midpoint of this column to the midpoint of this column, and that line represents my handrail. I'm going to hit the green check mark button, and I am going to go into a 3D view to see what my house looks like at this point. You can see that I have a railing. Now the problem is the balusters go all the way to the bottom. I want a lower rail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this railing. I'm going to I'm going to select the whole railing, not just the balusters. That is the whole railing. Edit type. And I'm going to look in here to my rail structure. I'm going to hit edit. And there's nothing in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert. I'm inserting a new rail. So a rail is a horizontal element. A baluster is a vertical element. So the new rail I'm going to set to be at 4 inches in height. So it's 4 inches off the ground. And I'm just going to hit apply so you can see what happens. It puts a railing 4 inches in. Now that's to the top of the rail. Now I haven't really paid too much attention to my rails. It looks like they're rectangular 2x2. That's fine. I'm just trying to get something that looks correct. Now my balusters are still going to the bottom, so I'm going to click my baluster placement edit button. And you'll notice here that the main pattern of the balusters is a 3/4 inch square baluster, and the base offset is 0. So we're going to change that to 4 inches, which is again the top of this rail. We're going to hit apply, and it doesn't do anything. Hit OK, and then hit apply, and now those balusters stop there. Now I hadn't noticed that before. That end baluster still goes down to the bottom. This is not in my instructions because I'm just noticing this now. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit type, go into that baluster placement, and these 4 we're also going to, or sorry, these 3 we're also going to set at 4 inches. This is a little nitpicky, but now those balusters go up to 4 inches as well. So now now that I have that looking correctly, that looks nice, I can go to level 1 and I can create my railings. Now each railing has to be done separately. Oops, didn't get that one quite to the end. So once I'm done that, I hit the green check mark and I start over. I can't do multiple railings that are unconnected. So I'll get those in and we'll pick up at the end of that.